Good morning, everyone. My name is Wan Rafifah Najih binti Wan Muhammad Hisham. Today, we will present about electric vehicle or EVs and the role of government tax incentive in encourage EV adoption in Malaysia.
Hi, my name is Wan Shahida Alia binti Wainan and I will present to you the introduction. Introduction. Electric vehicles or EVs are vehicles that use electricity instead of fossil fuels. Today, EVs are becoming more important due to climate change concern, environmental pollution, and advancement in battery technology. EVs also support the green economy because they help reduce carbon emissions and promote environmental sustainability. In Malaysia, the government introduced several tax incentives under Budget 2026, such as tax exemptions for EV-related companies, tax relief for home charging installation, and the expansion of charging infrastructure. However, EV adoption in Malaysia is still relatively low due to challenges like limited charging stations, high vehicle costs, and concern about maintenance and resale value. Therefore, this study aims to identify the EV tax incentive under Budget 2026, analyze their role in encouraging EV adoption, and evaluate their effectiveness and challenges in Malaysia.
Electric vehicle adoption is becoming more important because of environmental concern and the needs to reduce carbon emission. Besides environmental awareness, technological advancement and government support also influence consumer decision to switch from traditional vehicle to EVs. However, charging infrastructure is another important factor because consumers are more confident when charging stations are easily accessible. To support EV adoption, the government introduced several tax incentives such as tax exemption, subsidies and rebates, as well as reduced registration fees. This incentive help lower the cost of owning EVs and increase affordability for consumers. From a global perspective, countries like Norway, China, and Germany have successfully increased EV adoption through strong government policies and better infrastructure support. Therefore, Malaysia can also improve EV adoption by continuing to provide incentive and expanding EV infrastructure nationwide.
Next, I will discuss the factor of influencing EV adoption and policy effectiveness. One major factor affecting EV adoption is the high purchase cost compared to conventional vehicles. Although EVs provide long-term savings, many consumers are still concerned about the high upfront cost. Therefore, government provide incentives and subsidies to encourage EV purchases. Another important factor is charging infrastructure. Consumers are more likely to use EVs when charging stations are easily accessible. Limited charging facilities may reduce consumer confidence, especially for long-distance travel. Environmental awareness also influences EV adoption. Consumers who care more about sustainability and reducing carbon emissions are generally more interested in EVs. In addition, government policies such as tax exemptions and subsidies have increased consumer confidence and market participation. Previous study shows that government incentive, charging infrastructure, and environmental awareness are the main factors influencing EV adoption. However, in Malaysia, infrastructure limitations are considered a bigger challenge compared to developed countries. In conclusion, tax incentives play an important role in increasing EV adoption, but effective infrastructure, public awareness, and supportive policies are also necessary to ensure long-term success.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Alif Fitri Farisha binti Muhammad Kamal. For literature review part 3, I will discuss the main challenge of electric vehicle or EV adoption in Malaysia. The first challenge is limited charging infrastructure. Malaysia still lacks sufficient charging station, especially in rural area. This creates range anxiety among consumers, where they worry about running out of battery before reaching a charging station. The second challenge is the high cost of EV. EV are more expensive than conventional vehicles due to high battery costs. Although EV can reduce fuel and maintenance expense in the long term, many consumers still consider them unaffordable. Another challenge is low consumer awareness and acceptance. Some consumers still lack knowledge about EV technology, battery performance, and environmental benefits. Many people also prefer petrol vehicles because they are more familiar and convenient. For Malaysia context and research cap, in the Malaysian context, the government introduced various tax incentives under Budget 2026 to encourage EV adoption. These incentives include import duty exemption, sales tax exemptions, and investment incentive for the EV industry. The government also works with MIDA to support green technology and sustainable development. However, there are still research gaps in previous studies. Most studies focus on developed countries such as China, Norway, and the United States, while studies related to Malaysia are still limited.
My name is Siti Zawana and I represent the methodology fact. We are using secondary data method and all the data presented are gained from journals that are published on Science Direct. The journals are published between 2019 to 2025. There are few journals that I have read from them and this is the summary that I can get. There are few countries that give tax incentive to their electric vehicles users. The first one is Norway. Their usage of electric vehicles getting increased from 2010 to 2021. During 2021, there are only 33 car brands that offer electric vehicles on their market. Meanwhile, during 2010, there are only 2 car brands that offer electric vehicles. Their people are get exemptions from value-added tax if they are using electric vehicles. They prefer to use electric vehicles because it is lower energy cost rather than driving a fossil fuel vehicle. Norway government also give exemptions and discount on road tolls, car fare repairs, and parking charges to any electric vehicle users. Second country is Germany. Germany offers few tax incentives to their EV users. Any company that uses EV car as their official company car can claim for tax reduction. Either they are using BEV, FCEV, or PHEV. For newly registered pure EV, they can claim for EV tax exemption from their government. For other EV users, they can claim for 50% reductions. Germany provides unlimited time tax reduction for BEV and FCEV. It means they can claim the tax reduction for their EV forever. But there are not unlimited time for PHEV. Last but not least, European countries. They have 2 incentives, which is monetary incentive and non-monetary incentive. For monetary incentive, they are divided to 2 categories, which is one-time incentives and recurring incentives. One-time incentive means the buyer can claim for the financial benefits under months. The most popular one-time incentive is rebates and tax reductions. Rebates means discount that customers gain from their purchase. During 2010, there are only 4 countries that offer rebate, but during 2016, it increased to 11 countries, and during 2022, it increased to 24 countries that offer rebates for their EV users. There is also point of sales tax, POS. It is calculated based on the vehicle attributes. It means the more the vehicle costs to the pollutions, the user needs to pay more on their sales tax. There are 22 countries out of 31 European countries that provide these tax incentives. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wainur Umairah Asha. Discussion of our findings. Budget 2026 tax incentives have increased EV adoption through tax exemptions, GTFS financing, and MIDA support. These incentives reduce EV costs and support Malaysia's low carbon goals. EV adoption also supports corporate sustainability because companies can improve their ESG performance and brand image. However, there are still challenges such as limited charging infrastructure, high EV prices, and low public awareness. Compared to countries like Norway and Germany, Malaysia still needs stronger infrastructure and better policy support to increase EV adoption. For recommendations, the government should expand EV charging stations and increase public awareness about EV benefits. Long-term tax incentives and financial support should also continue to encourage EV usage. Besides that, companies should include EV adoption in their ESG strategies. Malaysia can also learn from countries like Norway and Germany in improving EV policies and infrastructure. In conclusion, Budget 2026 tax incentives play an important role in encouraging EV adoption in Malaysia. However, challenges such as high costs, limited infrastructure, and low awareness still affect EV usage. Therefore, continuous government support, stronger infrastructure, and public education are important for Malaysia's transition towards a sustainable low-carbon economy. That's all for our team. Thank you.